Okay, so it's a new semester, and we're done with the funded portion of the DoD grant, and so all of our many meetings have come to an end. But people like to get together and meet, so I figured we'd keep doing it, and it would just be more informal. Every fall we do training for the Opus course, and the idea is every spring we'll do something kind of MWU focused. Though this semester, since we're still, I don't know, I don't want to do anything formal. I don't have the bandwidth to organize that. But I figured we'd just get together and share our adventures. And in some weeks I'll have nothing. Some weeks I'll have a planned activity. I kind of have a planned activity this week, but I figured we'd go around the room and do some introductions because we have a lot of some old faces, of course, but some new people as well. So let's start in my upper left. We have Dustin.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dustin. I'm actually in my final semester, just starting to do research with Dan. I have been accepted to UNC, so I may just be continuing on in this route. So we
Oh,
shall see.
did you say you have accepted?
No, I said I've been accepted. I'm
Been
I'm waiting
accepted.
on
Okay.
calls.
No
And
pressure.
no pressure, yeah. But so I have been accepted, but I have not
Yeah.
accepted yet.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, I hope you accept, but I understand if you get another offer and go elsewhere. But yeah, I'm hoping Dustin will accept our offer and he'll become one of my grad students along with Reed. And Dustin's focus would be education research. And this semester he's doing 8 credits with me, focused on education research and MWU. And he's one of my head TAs for MWU. So though he hasn't taken MWU before. So I'm glad you're here. You'll learn some of the activities. Okay, let's keep going around the room. Clues is next.
Hi, everybody. I think a lot of you know me either personally or by name. So I'm Aaron Lockluze, also known as Clues. Just call me Clues. I teach up here at Central Michigan, so we have a real nice blanket of snow here. And unlike all y'all, we know what to do with snow, so it doesn't shut us down at all. It's fine. Um, I was doing the testing supergroup for MWU in the previous semesters, and so that's about all I have to say about that.
All right, Kent.
Kent Reinhardt. I teach at Southeast Community College in Nebraska Wesleyan in Lincoln, Nebraska. And yeah, we deal with snow. It's all blowing vertically and then horizontally. And we came back from Colorado last weekend, and there was a big storm that went through. And in about a 70 stretch of the interstate, we counted 35 vehicles in the ditch or wrecked up and wheels up in the air. It was a big mess, but I'm just going through Opus, and this is going to be my first semester with MWU.
Are you teaching it this semester? Are you on the
Yeah,
list? Okay.
yeah, I put myself on the list. I did most of my signing up at the end of the break. I was just exhausted after this last semester and
Oh, I get it. Yeah,
kind of went brain dead for a couple weeks.
and again, this won't be MW training though. You'll pick up a lot of things. We do have modules that are about 80% done, and videos that I shot last year. I'd say those are about 80% done as well. But it's still a work in progress. But you'll pick up a lot in these meetings as well. Okay, next we have Guy.
Hi there. My name is Guy Worthy. I am an old face, although it's also fresh. Never seen it before. I couldn't make last semester's meetings, and this is my teaching just introductory astronomy using the Opus lab. We're over here in Pullman, Washington, yeah, the wet Northwest.
All right. Todd.
Hello, I'm actually at UNC. I'm a chemistry professor here who considers himself also an amateur astronomer, and I've sat in on Dan's MW twice. So I'm his oldest TA this semester, trying to help out with the class and learn a little bit more.
So, as some of you know, I'm trying this new model where I actually have 9 TAs. but one of them is a professor of chemistry, so I can't call them TAs. So we're calling them Sherpas, and they are the guides. And each Sherpa will guide 2 or 3 groups through the MWU adventure. And Todd's one of our Sherpas. Okay, Mark.
I'm Mark Briggs. I'm in Ashland, Kentucky, and we've had some snow recently. I mainly do Opus. I hope sometime soon to be able to do the MWU with the group, but we just don't have a whole lot of students here.
Well, it's always great you coming in and having fun with us, even though you can't offer it yet. David.
Hey, I'm David Zuko. I'm at Washington and Lee in Lexington, Virginia. We still have snow too, snow report. But I, am a Wisconsinite, and so I have parked my Subaru at an angle because that's where the snow is piled up in the parking lots. I've been a Opus instructor for a while, and I did have the pleasure of doing a full-on hair on fire pilot test of MWU last year.
Hey, Calais.
I'm Kalei Tak. I'm an instructor at Stanford Online High School. I also teach chemistry. So Todd, wear 2 hats in one class. I define metals very differently from another. And I live in California, the Bay Area, where we don't have any snow, and south of us we have fire. So that's been scary, but not where I am located.
That's good. Matt.
Hi, my name's Matt Fleener. I'm at the University of Mary Washington in Fredericksburg, Virginia, which is about halfway between Richmond and DC. We also have snow, although it's melting. I have taught MWU various times, one time as a full-on class, and this semester I'm actually teaching intro, so I'm going to do the Opus again, first time in a couple of years. Dan, I got your email. Thank you for the reminder. I apologize for not remembering. So
No worries.
Glad to be here.
Cool. Ian.
Yeah, good morning. I'm another one of those old faces, since I'm pretty old. Um, my name is Ian Hewitt. I am with, Coastal Carolina University. We're at the beach. We didn't get any snow, so fortunately, that's why we live at the beach. I teach again at Coastal Carolina University. I've taught Opus in our Astro 101 sections, and sort of MWU in our observational astronomy classes. So I also did some work with the development group over the spring and summer. So it's always a lot of fun, right? And Dan, by the way, I appreciate you getting us that document, and it's working its way through all the grinding gears of the university. So
Sure. Yep, not a problem. Understood. And when it's done there, it'll take its time on my side as well. So
yeah.
Okay, Jim. Oh, and you're muted.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I've done some of the Opus before and helped out with the MWU, and I'm finally I have 5 sections of online astronomy this semester for Appalachian State. Even though I'm in Northern Illinois, I just need a little bit of refresher. Now in Northern Illinois, we don't have a lot of snow right now. It's all melted, but our high today is only 12 degrees for the next few days. So we're cold, but it's part of the deal. I'll be out in my driveway tonight imaging that Mars occultation by the moon. Some hot chocolate. Hey, I just want to say it's interesting. Dustin, good to see you. And then Calais, always good to see you. So I see some familiar faces, and I'm like Matt coming back again after a while. So it's just a neat thing too. I didn't even thought about it. Ian, I actually graduated from Coastal Carolina College in 1984. I maybe shouldn't put a date on that. Some of you weren't even born then. But actually, while I was stationed at Myrtle Beach Air Force Base. So it's very cool.
So,
Nice
Fantastic.
to meet everybody.
so what time is the occultation? Someone in my Facebook feed mentioned something about an eclipse. I said, no, there's no lunar eclipse till March, but that there is an occultation. I guess that's tonight.
Yeah, it starts at Central Time. It's 8:06. It's
Yeah.
going to start touching. It only take like 30 seconds for Mars to get covered, and it comes back like at 9. This is Central Time, so
Sure.
you get 9:06 or whatever. It'll be different because your latitude's different, but right around 9 o'clock, and it'll pop out an hour and 10 minutes later.
And is it only an occultation up here in the north or also down like in the
No,
southern?
you guys can see it. It'll just be a little bit different time.
No, I mean like
You can
Chile.
see it. Oh, no.
'Cause the moon moves four
It might
moons
not make
from,
it there. I don't know.
yeah. Hey,
I was
I'll
thinking
claim
North Carolina.
stellarium because I'm doing a bunch of lunar imaging right now, getting ready to do it with the students.
It'll be
And
darn close to the moon anyway.
yeah, and so I'll look up the time for the optimal Mars placement and see what we can do. Okay, Brad.
Hello, I am Brad Peterson. I'm at Hastings College in Hastings, Nebraska. We got a little snow over the weekend, not as much as we were told to expect. We got a little bit below what the low end of the forecast was. And it has mostly melted, even the very top of my driveway, which is impressive because my driveway faces north, so the very top is usually takes a while, but I guess I oversalted and it went away in a reasonable amount of time this time. So that's nice. Let's see. I haven't ever done MWU before. I'm not actually doing it in a class right now. I'm just here to learn about it. I did Opus, got through about half the labs during our last term. Really liked it, so I'd like to at least know more, even if scheduling a class that would actually do other stuff would probably be tricky, but I'd like to know how to do it anyway.
Hey, Christopher, and watch out for that polarized black hole. They're the worst. Black holes are okay, but polarized ones, wow.
Yeah, right. It's Chris Rowe. I'm just down the road from Dan. I'm in Greensboro, and we still have remnants of snow on the ground, less and less as the day goes on. Of course, this is North Carolina, so we have all 4 seasons, sometimes in the same day. So it's about 50 degrees outside right now. So there won't be any snow left after today. I wear a couple of different hats, solar system ambassador and local volunteer. So I did Opus last semester, Dan, and really enjoyed that. And I'm looking forward to the MWU this semester. Really, the interesting aspects, so much more that's been added, and of course, see a few familiar faces there, Ian and David, working with them on different projects. So good to finally see some good faces. So thanks.
Okay, 2 to go. Jacob, you got here just in time to introduce yourself.
Hi, all. My name is Jacob Brown. I'm a physics and astronomy instructor over at North Carolina School of Science and Math. I'm not sure what all details we were asked to introduce ourselves about, but yeah,
No,
so
freeform. Most people are giving a weather report, actually.
Yeah, you have to mention the snow, even though you're only
Uh,
like 20 minutes away.
well, in Raleigh, I had just mainly ice. Um, so we were dealing with ice most of the time, but when I drove up to Durham today, there was snow, a lot more snow. So, um, yeah.
All right. And last but not least, Enrique.
Hello, everybody. So I'm actually working out right now. I'm in Western Carolina University. I'm actually running. I just stopped very briefly. I've been listening to you all. I'm actually running through the snow. And in case you're worried, yes, I'm actually wearing shoes.
I was
I've done
going to
weird
ask.
things yeah, like run barefoot on some of these trails. But in any case, aside from doing weird things like that. I also do weird things like mixing and matching MWU and Opus labs, which I did last semester. I'm not going to do that. I don't teach an astronomy class this semester, but I have some lessons learned and some successes that I would like to share at some point when appropriate. So thank you, everybody. It's good to hear you all.
Cool. All right. So we just started MWU. We had our syllabus day on Thursday, and the next class, I'm teaching Tuesday, Thursday. And so next class is tomorrow, and they'll be putting in their Module 1A observations, which is the lunar mosaic. And the idea behind this one was kind of a really exciting, easy, semi-easy, really exciting, high impact splash to start the semester out and the course out. This is the third time we're offering it here at UNC. The first two times, this was like a disaster. The first time our server infrastructure we learned the hard way, like on day one. As soon as they all tried to do something simultaneously, everything crashed. And so we ramped up to professional level server infrastructure, which I think mostly works, though occasionally under high usage, it has reset itself. I noticed at the conference that we held this summer, when everyone hit the server at once, we had a reset, which was very disappointing. So we're still trying to figure that out. But most of the time, it should handle a large load. And this will be a test today. And then we got that kind of sorted out. And I thought, okay, great. We're going to have a great start last year. But just the algorithm that we had to do the mosaicing was so slow. And particularly if you use the 2K by 2K data, which we're going to use today. And we have 1K by 1K cameras. They don't mosaic as well because we don't have as much overlap. I am still trying to figure out the optimal conditions and parameters for the mosaicing. I'm doing a lot of that testing now. I've been making lunar mosaics all morning and yesterday. Yeah, but the 2K by 2K, so the longest part of the algorithm where you stack it could take like 2 hours to run. And, that's just a real downer for the students. So Vladimir and I sat down and got into the guts of the algorithm and got that slowest component for the 2K by 2Ks down to, well, it's been running in 9 minutes for me this morning. So we're going to try this and let's see how far we get. So let me share my screen and we're all going to do it. Okay, share. Peter is responding much slower than it was just a minute ago. Okay, here we go. So everyone should go to, this is kind of where we're going to end up. Everyone should go to Afterglow. You've all at least done Opus, so you're all familiar with Afterglow. So afterglow.skynet.unc.edu. And if you haven't logged in for a while, it will ask you to log in. And there's a button there saying log in with your Skynet credentials. And it'll take you over to Skynet and you type in your regular username and password and I'll bring you back. Everyone there? I'll give you a second. Okay, I'm getting head nods. Okay, so now let's find this data set that I collected. And I'm learning more. Sometimes these lunar mosaics, they come out really nice. And sometimes they look like crap. And I'm figuring out sometimes they look like crap because maybe you had variable cloud cover. And so, we shoot red, we shoot green, we shoot blue. And if you have variable cloud cover for any of those, then the combination is not going to look good. It's not going to mosaic together well. And also, I think I'm realizing that if you shoot it too low in the sky, you also will end up with color gradients and problems. Because by the time you get to your last filter, the moon's risen in the sky and it's not blocking as much blue light as before, and so you end up with like a color gradient across your lunar image. But sometimes it turns out amazing. This one that we're going to do today, I'd say, is kind of in the middle. You can't, if it's amazing, you can stretch the colors. After Afterglow, you take it out and put in whatever, and you can stretch the colors and really bring out the blues and the yellows. There are all sorts of cool colors on the moon, but it has to be just perfect to see them. Here, this looks really good, except when I stretch the colors, it does kind of fall apart. I can see the seams, and here, let me show you what this looks like stretched. So when I stretch it, I see I got green over here and pink over here. And I think that's because I shot this only 20 degrees above the horizon. So I'm going to reshoot it again tonight, 30 degrees up, and see if it does better. Anyway, here we go. Go to Open Files. We're all going to import this data set. I'm going to show you where it is. Let's see. We'll start with Files. Then we're going to go to Skynet. And then I can just get to it through my user directory since I took it, but you all will have to go through the collaboration observations. Then you're looking for something called the Intro Astro Project Intro Astro. So in the search box, if you type in project, that'll take you to, this is basically all the education stuff that we do out of UNC. And once you're in Project Intro Astro, this one was taken in the MWU group directory. So search on MWU. Go in there. And then you got to find me, REICHART. This would be my directory in the MWU group. Okay, and what we want.
What was the MWU one?
Yeah, so it's collaboration, Project Intro Astro, MWU gets you in the group.
Okay.
And then Reichert, REI, just like, well, my name's spelled here under me. And then in here, I don't know how it's sorted for you, but I normally click on last modified, and sometimes you have to click on it twice, and it'll put the most recent stuff at the top. And oops, no, that's right. Let me click on again. Yeah, so if the arrow's pointed down, the most recent stuff's at the top, and we're looking for the prompt 6 moon. It's down here. In fact, you can even filter on moon if you want. And I've been testing it out with all the scopes, and a lot of them did not turn out well, the smaller format cameras. But this one here, prompt 6, 75 images in O3U and H alpha. That's the one we're going to try today. So you click on that one. And then you want the reduced images. This won't work on the raw. Again, the colors are really subtle, so it has to be very precisely calibrated and ideal conditions to really bring out the colors. But once you get here, there should be 75 images. Make sure your items per page isn't set to 50, or else you only load 50 of the 75. Set it to 100. So all 75 are in the directory. Basically, this was a 5x5 mosaic, 5x5 in H alpha, which is going to be our red filter, 5x5 in O3, which is going to be our green filter, and 5x5 in U band, which is going to be our blue filter. You can see these are all 0.125 second exposures. You just select them all by hitting that box there and open them up. And this will take a moment because you're loading 75 2K by 2K images. And it probably depends on the strength of your internet connection. You can compare yours to my status bar to see how it's going. I'm at home. When I'm on campus, we're right on the internet backbone. And so it goes much faster. Of course, I'm on Zoom right now, which I think is slowing it down. And also, it just kind of stopped, which scares me a little bit. This is why we're kind of doing this test. Everyone hit it simultaneously, and that may have been a problem. We'll see if it's a problem. Oh, no, it worked. It wasn't. Hello? Are you still loading?
Yes, it's still loading.
Yeah, mine's still loading.
Strange.
Flip to a different screen and no longer.
It's moving at least though. Let's just
Okay. Mine kind of stopped.
almost halfway there.
I'm gonna load mine in again. Find that really interesting. Maybe but we're doing these tests here with what we got 16 of us here. Okay, mine's still moving now. And it could be that 16 people loading 75 images simultaneously is a bit of a hiccup. I seem to have stopped. Is anyone else frozen in your loading?
I seem to have stopped at about halfway.
And mine stopped. Oh, wait, now all of a sudden mine had stopped where
Oh.
yours did, then it jumped to a halfway point.
Yeah, now
Okay.
mine's up to three
Mine
quarters.
keeps-
It's jumped.
Yeah, mine keeps incrementing. It keeps, I get bursts of loading.
Okay. This is good. Good to know, right? I can sit here and do tests by myself all day and everything works great. The server, I'll check with Vladimir, our current configuration is probably set for a fixed number of threads. It may be 16, it may be 25, something like that. And so it's probably, if it's 16 threads and there's 16 of us doing this now, plus anyone else out there using Afterglow. And I think it's more than 16 worker threads, but I seem to be moving again. So as long as my box doesn't disappear, we'll just wait for it. So one lesson here is I may have the students load their images into Afterglow before coming to class.
No, that's a good point.
Mine just loaded.
Okay, excellent. The more of us that complete, the faster it should go for the rest of us. But it usually does take probably 3 minutes to load all this data just when I'm the only one trying it. My bar is moving along at a good clip. It's moving along at the normal clip. I wouldn't be surprised if we had 16 threads and we had like 18 people using Afterglow, us plus a couple others elsewhere, and that slowed us down and put some of this into a wait pattern. As the professor, I normally come in with all my images always loaded, so I never find myself in this situation. But I figured, why not today?
Loaded.
Cool. I can tell you a little bit more about the observation. So, if there's time when it's doing the stacking, which single user takes 9 minutes. If there's time, I'll show you how to put the observation in. If not, it's all in the module. But as I said, it's a 5x5 mosaic times 3 filters, so 75 images. And for bright things like the moon and Venus, Jupiter, and Mars, instead of RVB for red, green, and blue, we use H alpha O3 and U band. Because these shutters, they do have a minimum time as fast as you can open and closes, like 0.03 seconds. I've got through, so mine should be loading in now. And even at that very small time scale, 0.03 seconds, on something like the moon in a standard red, green, or blue filter, you just saturate the camera. So we're using, instead of R band, we're using H alpha. That's a narrow band filter. In fact, I'll bring the guide over here and show you the spectra or the response curves. They're up here. Here we go. So instead of R, we're using H alpha. See how narrow it is? So it doesn't let as much light through. Instead of V, we're using O3, also narrow, doesn't let as much light through, so we can do a longer exposure. And instead of B, we're using U band. And although it's, a broader filter, the atmosphere blocks a lot of the U. So H alpha, O3, and U, it's a nice pairing, a nice triplet. And in terms of, blocking a lot of the light, so we can have longer exposures. And they're also equally spaced, and that's good too. So you get natural colors. It just, it would be as if our eyes are a little bit more UV sensitive, spread out a little bit more, and that actually helps bring out the color in the moon a little bit more. So we use those to block out some of the brightness, have a little bit better color sensitivity. And by having this low throughput, we can do longer exposures. Like these were 0.125 seconds. And that's important because the shutters are irises. My Cocker Spaniel is outside my door crying. I just noticed. But anyway, the irises on a rapid time scale, suppose you do a 0.03 second exposure, it opens and closes, you get twice as much light at the center than the edges. So then when you piece your mosaic together, you get these the edges are dark. You get kind of a checkerboard pattern. So the longer you can do your exposure, the less of an iris effect you have. So that's another reason. Okay. Everyone have your data in now? Everyone got it in? Okay. The first step is cosmetic cleaning. Now, you don't really see it in the lunar image. It's not as easy to see because the moon's so bright. But all these cameras have bad pixels. Actually, let me bring that guide up. And actually, I got a picture. Here's a picture from the guide. Let me go back a few. So here's just a piece of a CCD that has all sorts of problems. Hot pixels, you can see them there. Partially bad columns, fully bad columns. They're cold pixels. And the cosmetic cleaning algorithm, we built it in-house. Logan Self, it was part of his undergrad honors thesis. You run it, and it cleans up all these cosmetics. So that's often the first thing we'll do in the astrophotography course. And so it's real easy. You come over here to the magic wand icon, cosmetic correction. And if you have nothing, oh, wow. Everything loaded twice for me. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, me too.
Since I hit the button twice, like the first time my window disappeared and I hit it again, I'm not going to risk it. Save one of these, and I'm going to just load again. Sorry, folks. Let me get these out of here.
You mean you don't want to go and split each one of them 100 times?
I don't. I'd rather load it.
While you're doing that, what should we do? Maybe if we start.
Yes, I'll tell you what to do. So the first step is the cosmetic correction. So you go to the magic wand, and if the only images you have open, I probably should have said that first. With something big like this, it's best if you clear everything else out first. If you clear everything else out first, then you could just select all. But if you have other stuff in there, you'll have to go into your select image box and select all and then deselect your other ones. I'm really sad, but it's good to know that that's an error I can make. I'll keep that there just in case I.
You would just use the defaults for the cosmic.
Yeah. Yep, sorry, I'm distracted.
Cosmic correction. There, I said it, David.
Thanks, Ben.
Okay, so it's loading. Yeah, you just use the defaults. I can't slide this window, of course. Yeah, select all and then just submit. It'll only take a moment. What it does is in each filter, if they're all taken within the same night, it just stacks them because all the defects are in the same place. Now, you have to do cosmetic correction before alignment. Once you align, everything moves, and so you move all the bad pixels around. So the first thing you do is cosmetic correction. It takes everything from the same filter and the same night and stacks it. So this goes faster, so you don't do it on every single image. And all the defects should be in the same place. And we'll go through and identify bad columns, bad pixels, run the algorithm, replacing these with medians of the ones around it. And so it's basically building 3 of these correction files, and then it will correct all your images using that correction file. And I think when you all hit the go button, that's when my status bar stopped advancing. But let me know when your corrections are done. What kind of percentages are you getting on the
I think several of us are done.
Mine just finished. Yep.
Cool. Okay, so that step shouldn't take too long. Oh, look, now that you finished, I'm moving along. So now we do have a fixed number of worker threads. I'll check with Vladimir because in different times, we have a bunch of processors, and sometimes we assign them to the dev version of Afterglow and sometimes the production. I'm not sure what state it's in right now. I'll want him to assign as many as possible to the production version. Before showing you the next step, I'll just get in here. No, actually, the next step's pretty well. Let me just get in here so I have my screen. Yeah, what else can I tell you about this? Well, the key thing will be showing you how to put the observation in, but come on, I'm almost there. Of course, these are 2Ks by 2Ks. It makes a better lunar mosaic because there's greater overlap. But if we're doing it with the 1Ks by 1Ks, it loads 4 times faster. So this is like the aggressive, most challenging data set. The next step will be alignment. Actually, let me pull up the manual here. Because it's what you have to do is written in the manual. The mine's like almost done. I'll just wait a second. Okay, while that's loading, let me come down here to the alignment tab. And I'm just going to be risky. I'm going to skip the cosmetic correction and hopefully it doesn't mess things up for me. So you go to the aligner, the tab right below it, going to select all. Okay. Now I have to go through and I got these 3 that are in a stack that I kept one of my stacks in case I need it for the demo. So I went and deselected those, but everything else, I cleared everything else out before loading. So everything else is my 75 images. Okay, now we're going to go into mosaic mode. And yeah, I'm thinking back, part of the algorithm, there's some things with the mosaic search radius that we can, I'll have to talk with Vladimir. There may be some optimizations there. I've just been using one. This morning, it seems to work. But basically with the aligning, it's taking each image and why take the one from this corner and this corner and see if they align? You can waste a lot of time. By the mosaic search radius, it's only going to take the ones immediately around it, which should speed it up a lot. Anyway, you turn that on, disable rotation, scale, and skew. That adds too many degrees of freedom. Now, if you're collecting your data and you had a meridian flip, then you're going to need the rotation and you'll have to turn it on. But really, if you give it all this freedom, it will find weird solutions, things that we call Frankenmoons. If you give it too much freedom, you'll end up with alignments like this, okay? This is actually different. That wasn't a rotation problem, but turn those off. And we're going to use feature-based alignment because we don't have a WCS on this. There are no stars to put a coordinate system on this image. So we're going to use the actual features of the moon to do it. The default algorithm should be AKs. And I found that a ratio threshold of 0.4 usually works. Everything else you can leave the same. So I'll get this cranking. But all your 75 images, mosaic mode with these disabled. And, if half your images were taken on one night and half on the other, there will be some rotation of the telescope, but you're going to have different atmospheric transparencies. It's not going to work. Your data really all has to be collected in one batch for this to work. AKs, try 0.4 first. While it's running, I'm at 50%. This goes pretty quick. This used to be really slow, but now it's pretty lightning fast.
I'm sorry, Dan. I'm just trying to make sure I had a interruption. Are we filtering by, are we like selecting by particular filter
Not
first,
yet.
or
No,
do you
not
have,
yet.
so you have all the images in there? Okay.
Yep, I have all. When you stack, you do it by filter.
I see. That's right. Sorry. Been a
No, that's
while.
okay. For the alignment, you want all of them in there because you want the red and green and blue to align. Otherwise, you'll end up with a really nice red, really nice green, really nice blue, but when you put them together, they won't fit. You got to run the alignment algorithm cross filter as well.
I think what I was telling students to do was to align once you mosaic them together and you get the stack, then align the stacks. But I get it now. I didn't know
Yeah.
you could put them all together.
No, that should work too. I think this will be better. And this was the part that was super slow, and clearly it's much better now. It's moving pretty quick. What was I going to show you? Oh yeah, the AK's parameter. So sometimes, let me go back to these images here. If the AK's is too low or high, I forget which. Point 0.4 is just a first guess. If that guess is too high, you'll get false alignments. It's too flexible and you'll get a Frankenmoon. So if you end up with a Frankenmoon, you lower it. So if you go too low, it's too stringent. It can be too stringent, and you'll get sub-mosaics. Like it was able to mosaic some of it together and the rest in a different mosaic, but it wasn't able to piece the two together. So you're looking for that sweet spot. 0.4 usually works, though if you find yourself with a sub-mosaic or a Frankenmoon, you may have to adjust. I think under Vladimir's new algorithm, we don't hit this kind of problem as much. Okay, this is complete. Now, there's a little bug in Afterglow right now. Once Josh gets back from Chile, we'll fix it. Basically, each image has now been replaced with a very large image, but it's not loading. I can't get it to load for whatever reason. It's been replaced with the full size of the moon with its little piece where it's supposed to be. It looks something like this. So, this was a 5x5, and this is the second one in the second row. So each image is now replaced with a large blank one with just a little piece filled in. Now, for whatever reason, they don't load. I can't view them. It doesn't affect the analysis, and Josh will fix it. So here's the big step here. You go to the stacker, and first we're going to filter on _H alpha. That'll get you just your H alpha images. Select them all. And you're going to want to have multiplicative equalization on, additive equalization, and global equalization. They should all be on. 99.9 is perfectly fine. Multiplicative default. And equalization order, the default is 0. And with small chips, that's good. But if you're going to have a little bit of an iris effect, you may want to go up in order to order 1. So with this telescope, prompt 6, the 2K by 2K, I recommend equalization order 1. But make sure they're all turned on. Sometimes you'll see a hide, what's it called? Propagate mask, and you keep that turned off if that does appear. And so it looks like this, and you submit. And while it's running, filter on _03. That gets just the 03 ones here. Going to select and submit. And then I'm going to filter on _U. It gets just the U-band ones. Select them all and submit. Every other part of Afterglow won't let you submit multiple. It requires you finish the job before it lets you do another. This page is the exception because often you want to run all three at the same time. So these are 3 jobs I'm running, and there's 16 of us. So 16 times 3. This, I don't know if it's going to go fast or slow. If you're doing it by yourself, it takes 9 minutes to run all 3. It usually creeps up to about 7 or 8% and seems to sit there, and then it accelerates and finishes it out pretty quickly. Does everyone have your stacking job submitted?
Dan, when I got done with the liner, it said it completed the process, and then my whole thing just kind of froze. I can't go to any other button.
Try reloading the page.
I'm actually stuck at the aligner. I'm not getting the option for the AKs thing. I have the mosaic mode and then turn off the skew, rotation, and scale.
And then mode should be features.
Mode is feature. Oh, okay.
And then that will give you, and there's a whole bunch of these alignment algorithms. These are the standard ones. If you Google them, there's a paper that describes what they all are. AKs, I experimented with them all, and AK seems to be the best one for this particular kind of task.
Okay.
It's not good enough for lining up things like Jupiter. Jupiter's too small. Even though there are features in it, it really has to be broad. So the planets, when we do that some other week, we'll do that differently.
Can we go through these setups one more time? Because
Yep.
I did something wrong and it says no matching features found over and over and over and over.
Oh.
But I'm sure I just didn't do something.
Okay, so let's see. First we did cosmetic, which I don't think is required.
Yep.
And then you select all, making, hopefully you don't have any other images. Yeah, I took the filter off. As long as
But when you do the cosmetics, does it just overwrite the images that you're
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was asking, I'm looking, so what I have it open in Afterglow Workbench. I selected all of them on the left-hand side, and then I selected the cosmetic correction. And in top right-hand corner, it has all the images listed.
Yep, just like that.
Yep, yep. Now, was there a way to select all of them at once?
Yeah, by pressing this box right here, you select them all at once.
That's what I thought, but oh, I see. Okay, it did work now. Okay.
Yep.
I had some other stuff in there, but that's fine. It's easier to take that out. So okay,
Yeah,
it did
yeah.
work. It didn't work before, so
You may have had a filter in. If you have a filter here, like if I type in, something,
right.
Like H alpha, then that gets rid of all the rest. And so now if I select all, it'll just be those. So you can filter here and then select all that have been filtered.
I'm sure it was a pepcak error. Probably
Okay.
exists between keyboard and chair.
Let's see how we're doing. So I'm up around 11%. This is where it will start to speed up again. And once we get up to about 25%, then it plows through pretty quickly. And so we will get to the stage. Is everyone else around 11% on yours?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Okay.
8, 9.
Yeah. And this is when it seems hopeless. I'll see mine just jumped to 25. And basically there are different tasks, and this task is assigned 12.5%, this task 12.5%. But some tasks take longer than others. So sometimes it speeds through and sometimes it's very slow.
Yeah, I'm still frozen, and I tried to reload, but it's kind of gone into think mode.
Okay.
I might have to shut it down and start all over again.
Okay.
But I look like some other people were having trouble with Firefox.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm using Chrome. I'm not sure. I know we've tested on a number of browsers. I don't know if Firefox is one.
I'm using Firefox. It seems to be working fine.
Okay.
I'm slowly getting there, but it's slow, but it's moving.
Okay, I just hopped from 25 to 55. I'm cranking through. Once we have our three images and get them to load into our screen, the rest is really easy. So um,
And Dan, this status bar applies to all three of the jobs we submitted?
it's to the last one. The other two are still cranking, you just can't see them. Now, when they're finished, they'll come out either with the word stack or the word file. And basically, if you refreshed your page or lost the connection, it will come back like here I did one, and the red one came back file underscore whatever. But the other ones came back with the name, the part of the name in common and the word stack in there. So if I filter on stack, no, my processing is complete. So it's getting these in here. Okay. Filtered on the words. My U-band one is complete. The others are still cranking. I can go to the jobs tab and you can see the status of them. But once one's in here, I'm just going to load it in, give it a chance to load because it's now a pretty big file. Load it in here, zoom to fit. It'll catch up in a second. I think my H alpha is coming in now. These are each now like 5,500 square. Come on, give me one. Normally you can see them as they come in for whatever reason. It's not filling it at the moment. Let me just group them. That will trip it, hopefully. So once you have all three stacks, it's always nice to view them first. I don't know why it's not. Maybe I'll refresh my browser here. No, it's still trying to send the header over. The server just must be busy with all of us doing it at once.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So I found the error, but then on the second pass, which probably would have worked, I accidentally had a spare image of Saturn in there.
And you tried to run.
I got a pink error for that. So does that mean the whole process failed?
No, that image failed.
Okay, where's the output?
So basically, it's now overwritten all of them with large format images. You're talking about the alignment stage?
Yes.
Yeah, it's overwritten each with large format images where the now little image is where it's supposed to be in the large format. But that's the bug. It's not displaying at the moment. But once you do the stacking, it will display. This will start filling in. In fact, I can see little roll. It's hard to see, but there are little loading things going on right now. But it will start sending the image over. And this is 6K by, it's about 6K by 6K. While it's doing that, I'm going to group them as well. So I selected all three. Now I'm going to group the selected files. And that will make a multi-layer, multi-HDU fits file. Group the selected. Just got to go find my group.
suspect we're all just pounding on the server really hard. So
Yeah. So this feels like my here we go. Here's the group. Feels like my browser. I have like too many tabs open. It's probably upset with me at the moment. Pull some of these things out. Oh, it's suddenly happier.
Could you breeze through the parameters for the stacking for me real quick?
Yeah, for the stacking, so you filter on one filter like H alpha, select all the H alphas. You can use all the
Okay.
defaults. We're just going to average, but you want multiplicative equalization turned on. You want additive equalization turned on, global equalization turned on, and equalization order. Normally 0, but with these, this is a larger chip that may have an iris effect. And so you may want to have 1 there. It gives you slightly
Okay.
better seams in your image.
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
So my images are coming over, albeit slowly. Yeah, the memory is a little bit better now. My Zoom meeting is eating up Zoom meeting's eating up about a third of my CPU. So that's also good to note. I've noticed that I do these, I practice these, and then we have a Zoom meeting, and it's locally problematic. But once you group them, for whatever reason, I'm having a hard time getting this to load. But that's why I saved this one up here. And we'll pick up next time with that. So, your homework for next time is to go through these directions, either by this video or the guide. Let me give you the link to the guide. And have your 3 stacks ready. We got real close. But we had to do our intros too. So this going in the chat. Now I'll be revising the guide with, new lessons learned. But once you get here, see, I can't even load this one in.
yeah, it looks like the server because I see that all my jobs are complete, but Afterglow is not updating. So kind of looks like maybe it's choking a little on the back end.
Yeah. So I'll talk with Vladimir about that. But like class strategies, they come in with all the images loaded. And then, the cosmetic correction worked fine. The alignment worked fine. And the stacking is the slow thing. So either they do that at the end of the class and come back with the stacks ready. Or, they press the stack button and then you do something else with them for a while the stacks are being made. But yeah, it could also be that we triggered a server reset because I'm getting no action here. So I will check with Vladimir.
I mean, I can do a refresh, and it does refresh, but it's not showing the file, so it doesn't look like.
I wonder if we
Sorry, I might be
hurt the server.
I might be a little behind here, but I just got I was doing alignment and I just got errors for all my alignments. Cannot align image.
So this is in the manual too. If one of your images are you sure you were only aligning your 75 images? You had nothing else in there?
Double check. Yep. All of my moon. Nothing else.
Send me a screenshot of those. Actually, I mean, it's 4 o'clock, so if people need to leave, fine. Uh, otherwise, Chris, you want to share your screen? And I'll try to see what the error was. Okay, so I'm going to stop my share. I have a feeling that the server is doing a reset because I'm getting nothing now.
I'm able to send requests for the Africa workbench, but like when you click on the image, it's not getting the image. It kind of smells like a back end problem.
Yeah.
Like the data requests are, like it seems like the Afterglow server is working, but the back end data is not coming through.
Yeah, well, so I guess got a new laptop. Got to change all the settings again. And let's see. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see if I can do that now or if I have to
I should
restart.
have Vladimir join us.
Yeah, here we go. Okay. So under aligner on my rune.
Okay, oh, you got some Saturn. Oh no, you deselected.
Yeah, they're not clicked. They're not selected. It's stuff from the last semester, I think.
Okay.
Features, IKZ.
Cannot align image.
Hey Dan, what's the way to stop a job once it's processing if it's frozen? Is there a way?
Yeah, if you go to the jobs tab,
Where's
which
that? Oh, top. Okay.
yeah. The fact that it's not loading tells me we got some kind of back end issue here.
Yeah, my jobs tab's just an error bar. I mean a bar that's not doing anything.
Yeah, mine too.
I think that one didn't. I think you're right. I think that's what I figured, because that's not. It won't submit, and I'm trying to reload the page now. So
I think the server coughed up a lung.
yeah, we crashed the server. Cool. On the first
Yeah,
day.
I think so. Well, I'm glad we did this, and I don't want to have this experience in class for 3 years in a row. So I'll get on the horn with Vladimir. We'll get this reset. And next week, we'll pick up from this point. Make sure you have your 3 stacks ready to go. And I'll show you how to group them and colorize them. And we'll probably move on and do some planets next week as well. I got some.
Dan, just to confirm, we're meeting next week with the holiday.
Oh, let's see. Next week is the holiday, isn't it? Who wants to meet? We don't have to, but
I'm good.
Every day's the same to me. So
yeah, okay. So we'll do it. We'll meet next week, even with the holiday. But if you have to miss, no problem at all. No sweat.
can we just say that's not a really day that we're looking forward to?
Yeah.
Anyway, did I say that? Quick question on the Matt sent the documentation for this lab.
Oh, 1 second. You got some Neptunes checked in there.
They weren't. Now I do. I refreshed the page. So,
okay.
Yeah, don't. That page just came back. So
it could be that we crashed the server and you got that error.
Yeah. So let's see.
Crashed it.
Let me try it now since the page is refreshed. Take all these out.
I can't even get an image to. Oh, 1 second. I think maybe it.
My stacking job has gone from 0 up to 2% over the last few minutes, so a little something is happening.
I think
Not a
the
lot.
server has reset.
Probably.
Yeah, now my images are loading. And so
the job tabs is showing up as well.
Okay. This is what happened during the conference. Everyone hit it at once. The server said stop, but it reset itself. I sent everyone to lunch, but actually within about 5 to 10 minutes, we were back up and running. So I'd try your alignment again now that the server's back up.
I'm still loading this. I've got it here. Everything's set. and
Strange shape.
it's not submitting. Doesn't look like nothing's.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's call it. I'll check with Vladimir and sorry, but also thank you, because I'd rather embarrass myself in front of you all than my students. So
Nice
we'll pick
meeting
up
everybody.
here.
Was there the manual or documentation or for this semester? I don't know if you sent a link or if there was something
Yeah, I
available.
put it in the chat. Oh, mine is coming in now. I'm going to share just for, I think, see, when the server reboots, every process has to reload as well. When a process is being used, it has to be loaded in. And so it's slow initially. But now we've gone through the reboot process and it's bringing itself back. And so it's loading in my images here. I think I ran this with equalization order 0 because I can see some seams where I meant to do 1, but they're all coming in now. So I'm going to colorize these. I'll just show you real quick. And for anyone who wants to stick around, I'll show you real quick what you do in case you want to play. So what I've done here is I've right-clicked on the first one, the H alpha, I'm going to color it red. Right-click on the green one, O3, color it green. Right-click on the U band, color it blue. Once these have all loaded in, remember, this is huge. We're doing 2K by 2K, so this is a kind of 5K by 6K type image. Once they all load in, I should have a beautiful picture of the moon. Anyway, it'll be there next time, so we'll stop.
All right, thanks, Dan.
Sure. You're welcome for what it's worth.
No, yeah, I mean, it's always good going through it with and getting the extra background. So
All right. I'm gonna
have a good one.
shut us down. Yep, you too. See you next week. Bring your stacks.